Well, hello, mass lead generation, and SEO, and everybody family. It's a holiday weekend for some of us here in the U.S. That's why I have the little fireworks display going in the background. But we got Stephen and Simon, and getting ready for a
Hey,
Sunday
Daryl.
Live. How you guys doing?
Doing good, thank you. How about you,
Yeah.
Simon?
All good. Yeah, all good. All good. It's been a busy week, but yeah, nothing fun. All good.
I'm always impressed, Daryl, how you can be outside with fireworks going, but no noise. Are they silent fireworks tonight? Are they?
Well, they're so far away you can't hear them. See?
Okay, like lightning sometimes, isn't it?
Exactly. They're far
No
enough
thunder.
away. So, Don is our first to join us. So, Don, we love your dedication. We got some great information headed your way today. So, look forward to having you on here. And we'll probably have a little bit of a light day today because a lot of the U.S. people are on vacation or enjoying some hot dogs and hamburgers and all that good stuff. So, that's all good going on there. So, but we figured, Sunday, we do have a lot of people in other parts of the world. So we would still do our Sunday live on this 4th of July in the United States. So, let's do a little preview, walk around the table here and see, Stephen, what are you going to plan to talk about? And we'll flip it over to Simon. We'll give a little preview.
Well, last week I talked about Magic Page plugin and how roughly how to use it, what it does for the people who didn't know what it was. I'm going to explain to people tonight what a dynamic page is compared to a physical page, and we'll have a little chat about that. And then if there's anything else that springs to my mind while I'm watching Simon or yourself, then I'll chip in somehow and put my penny's worth in, whether it's right or wrong.
Awesome, Simon.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to talk about free SEO tools. So I guess we all use lots of different SEO tools. Some are free, some are freemium, and some are paid. And I've got 3 that I like and use and recommend. And I've also put together a list of over 30 free tools to share with the group. So we'll get into that. So yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to reveal our CSV Wizard that we've been talking about for a while. Talk a little bit about Siphon AI. And also go over the dynamic, the database generator. That's what somebody asked me to do, is go over the database data set generator inside of the Magic Form. So we'll go over that today. And of course, we'll have a chance for you to win a domain at the end. You do have to be present for that. We did ask people if they wanted to put some questions into our Facebook group. If they couldn't be here live on the call, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at that when we start taking questions at the end. And we also open up the lines for you guys to join us. If you have some specific questions you want our help with, we can certainly help you out with that. We do this every Sunday. You'll notice on our YouTube channel, we've been cutting up some of the videos and sprucing them up with some effects and things like that to make them a little more exciting and shorter, so that if you don't get a chance to watch the whole Sunday live, you can get the best of and have a few sections that we could optimize and maybe get some more people to check out the content that we're working so hard to get you. So, all right, with that said, we'll move along, and we're going to start off with Simon with his presentation. Then Stephen will take it from there.
Cool. Okay, I'll just pick up the screen here. Hold on a second. There we go. Right, so look, I'm going to talk about free SEO tools, and obviously there's thousands and thousands of tools out there. I'm sure a lot of us have used them from time to time. And I guess it's a bit of a challenge to make sure which tools do you have in your workflow, which ones do you trust, which ones do you want to use and make you more efficient. So I've come up with a list which I'm going to share with the group. I've been working on that. I've got over 30 listed on there at the moment. I'm going to share a link to that later on, and it covers all sorts of things in terms of analytics, on-page, technical, off-page, and I'm going to add to that as time goes on. But I thought I'd just cover off 3 of the tools I really like. Now, these might be familiar to everyone, and I hope they are because they're useful tools, but there might be some that are new. Certainly the third one, GMB Everywhere, is one that I've only just started using very recently, which I think have been really useful. So hopefully that's a new one. But things like SEO Quake are pretty popular, and Answer the Public's probably known to a lot of people, but just wanted to share it anyway. So I'll flip over to my window, just do a quick summary of what I like about the tool and everything else. So this is a Brighton electrician. I don't know this site. I just basically looked up a local business site. Maybe some of the sites that we might be looking at. Typically, obviously, I focus on local SEO, and what I can do is SEO Quake is the first one I'm going to talk about. So it's a Chrome extension. It's connected also with SEMrush, and basically you can add this toolbar on, and it gives you a number of different metrics along the top, and you can also click on here to get extra page information. So the reason I use SEO Quake mostly is to very quickly give me a summary of the size of a page. So if I'm going to look at SEO on my competitors, I'm going to look at the top 3, the top 5 that are ranking against me on Google at the top of page 1, and I'm going to take a look at things like how many words are on the page, which this really shows well. There's some of the keywords and then what densities they're coming out at, which SEO Quake summarizes really well. How big is the website? So it quickly tells you how many pages are indexed in Google, how many are in Bing, Yahoo, whatever. And there's other sort of technical SEO pieces as well. So another way to really quickly look at a site's meta description is in here as well. So very quickly you can get a feel for this page and this website and how well optimized it is. Like there's a summary on things like alt text and alt tags and the text ratio. So I love this tool. It's a great way just to get a very quick view on SEO metrics. So that's a sort of first recommendation. SEO Quake. Install as a Chrome extension and go through the different metrics just to get it. But they're the things I look at, use it for, is very quickly getting word count, density, have a look at meta titles and descriptions. Okay, so next thing that I think is really cool to look at is answer the public. So obviously when we're doing SEO, we're trying to be the best answer to the question, and we're trying to get behind the mind of the searcher to look at search intent, to purchase and commercial intent, and understand what people are looking for. Now that's not always immediately obvious, because what we think people are looking for and what they're actually looking for can be two different things. So Answer the Public is a premium tool, but it has a free daily allowance, and you can type in a topic. So I know wedding photography as well. I know we've got wedding photographers in my group, amongst many other people. So if I type in wedding photographer, very quickly this tool gives me an analysis, a bit like a kind of mind map, probably hard to see there, but have a look at yourself. And it shows me all the sorts of types of questions people are looking for in a kind of who, why, what, when kind of format. So where to find a wedding photographer, where to find a cheap wedding photographer, which wedding photographer, what wedding photographer to choose, which style to choose. And there's 50 or 60 different questions there, all about wedding photography. Now, if you wanted to write a blog post or an article or a social media post, there's some great inspiration in here that you've got for free. I think you can do 4 or 5 queries and a day and get some information out of it. But I think you wouldn't have to look far to get some really interesting ideas from Answer the Public on ideas for SEO and blogs. But these are the kind of questions people are asking. So these are the answers that your pages need to answer. So that's my second recommendation. And then third recommendation, there's one that I found only this past week, actually, and I'm going to add it to my course, which I did on Monday. And I know Don, who's on the stream, has already commented on that. So good to see you, Don, and hope we had a good session on Monday. And I'll certainly be adding this into the course. So this is GMB Everywhere, which is again another Chrome plugin and a Chrome extension. And what it does is when you actually go into, I've looked up Leeds Plumber here, but you choose a listing. And then when you actually get into the knowledge panel, it gives you these red boxes that are extra analyses of the listing. So it tells me here that this Leeds Plumber UK is only registered on one category as plumber, and the star means it's the primary category. So that's interesting. Some of the other ones will have different ones. So let's go on to here. Plumber drainage service. Let's see what else there is. Plumber boiler supplier central heating service. So in the first 3 there, I've got an insight into some of the different categories people are using for plumber, and I might make a decision on whether I want to cover those categories or not as well. Another really cool thing, which is good, is this basic audit. And again, it gives you a little links and some headline information on the GMB itself. So you can tell very quickly if there's an address registered and displayed publicly. You get the website address, your phone number, CID, you get the short link for the page, and you also get this button here, which quickly throws up what the latest posts are as a kind of a search. So just give me a second, it should just display. Oh, it's going to pop up a window in any second. Go on. No, I didn't do. I'll click that again. I'll see if it'll do generate again. It normally it throws up a window to show you what actually has been searched on recently. Let's see if it'll do that for me again here. If not, I might need to choose another window. There we go. Okay. So look, this is saying here is where I can ask a question. And if you actually own this listing, it's a way for you to easily find your own Q&A. So Don, I know we were talking about on the course, and this is a way for you to actually quickly get to your own Q&As. So you can also see the question answers that have been asked as well. And also you can get into their website as well. So you can look at how much content was indexed from the site in the last month, total amount of content, estimate the website traffic, page speed score, schema validator. So the links go to free tools anyway. So there's like Google's rich test results link there. There's Neil Patel's site there. So, but it's quite a nice way just to get a lot of analysis quickly on a GMB that is hard to display otherwise. So here's the here's the knowledge panel. So I can just look down here. I can see quickly the reviews and questions and some of the related information. I mean, you can search through a GMB yourself, but what I'm talking about is a nice way to be able to go from one listing to another to be able to get the information. So look, there are 3 tools that I thought would be useful to share. There's over 30 on my list. I'll show you the link for that now. Hold on. So my link is lp.simonhogben.com/free-seo-tools. So it's a bit of a mouthful. I should have put a short link together for that, but that's it there. And obviously my Facebook group is localseoheroes.com. And anybody wants to have a chat, book me in for a call. So that's my kind of three tools without going through them in too much detail: SEO Quake, Answer the Public, and GMB Everywhere. I don't know, Daryl and Steve, if you happen to have a favorite GMB or SEO tool that you like to use, or, apart from mass page tools and Leadgenmagic, have you got any other things that you particularly use for your own businesses?
I mainly use very similar tools to you. The GMB Everywhere one I wasn't aware of myself.
No,
that looks a really good tool. But generally speaking, I use this. I think most people in SEO end up using very similar tools. And before Magic Page plugin added its own SEO section in it, along with, and this is what I love about the new version of MPP, is the fact it's now got built in already a sitemap generator. So under Magic Page and settings, you just tick a box and say generate my sitemap. So it does a sitemap now. It does all the SEO. So I use, for research, I use similar tools. I think the only other tool that might not have been mentioned is Google's own research tool, keyword research tool, which is free.
That's on my list. I've got that on the list. Yeah,
brilliant. Make sure some of you pop the links in the chat and share them across my platform and also Daryl's, so that people can get the links underneath this video.
There we go.
But yeah, no, I mean it's looking a good list. And the thing is, when people start out in SEO, and I've done SEO for years, I know what it's like to go and search for tools, and then you find one doesn't work, and the next one works for a while, and then one's working for years, for ages, and then it gets sold out to someone else, and they don't let you have access or something. It happens all the time. And so when you can get a list of free tools, you don't mind so much using them, because you know that you haven't had to spend a huge amount of money out on them in the first place to end up losing out. So I think that's awesome that you've got the list together. Are there any paid ones in your list?
They're all free. There's like 34 free ones. I mean, I use paid tools, and there's certain ones, and I think you've got to make a decision about how far you can get with free tools versus the paid model. And most of the tools that are free, they'll give you a daily allowance, and they'll give you 5 searches, 10, like SEMrush, you can get 10 searches a day on, which is great. But if you want to use more, you'll want the paid plan. Obviously, they use it for lead generation, but there's certainly paid tools that I do buy amongst a number of free tools that I use. But I mean, that's a great list for people. If you're not doing it high volumes, if you're not working on client accounts generally, you're on your own set of websites, you'll be able to manage it with, I would have thought you could do it with 100% free tools potentially. But yeah, see how you think of those. If anybody thinks of any ones I've missed off, get in touch and let me know. I'm going to add to that list, but that was my starter for 34, I think. So yeah, we'll take it from there. There's a comment on it as well of what the tool does, so give a bit of a guidance. You don't have to research it all individually. It's a bit of summary on each one.
Any thoughts, Daryl?
I love free tools. I like freemium tools as well, like tools that get you started with like a free sampling of different things. Can't think of any off the bat that wasn't on that list that you were talking about there. One thing that probably is one of the most valuable free things out there is the Search Console from Google. There is a plethora of information that you can start to get out of that once you have some website traffic, where you can really start to take a look at really accurate information. A lot of the other tools are third-party opinions of where your website is as far as in Google's eyes. Whereas I think when you can get right into Search Console, maybe pull in some analytics data, which is always more limited, you can really start to understand where you're at, and are you growing, are you not growing. So
yeah, absolutely. I have got that on the list as well, so don't worry. Got
Search
okay,
Console.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I don't want you to catch me out, you see. So I've definitely got that. But if you do have any, I'll add them on. Another one is Google Trends, which I think is really good. So if you're doing niche research and you want to get a feel of, is this a niche that's growing that I want to invest time in? Because obviously with SEO, you're thinking 6 months ahead, a year ahead. If you're building a affiliate site or something, you've got to consider these things. If you're looking at a niche and it's trending down, it has been trending down for 5 years, you might want to reconsider whether that's where you want to invest your time, and compared to something that's hot and on the up. So Google Trends is another great one.
And seasonal, if you're doing lead generation and you're dealing with a seasonal business, make sure you're hedging with something else. So if you're doing, obviously like Northeast, lawn care isn't a real good one in the winter, but you could also do snow plowing, right? Or something, just as an example. Any of those ups and downs kinds of businesses that are affected by hurricanes or power losses, stuff like that, and you can get a whole bunch of leads all at once, but nobody needs those leads because they have too many people with roof damage when a hurricane comes through and things like that. So these are all things to consider when you're building something out. Is say, okay, I'm going to look at the trend, but I want to look at the trend in a big picture. And if you see in the trend lines half the year it's down, well, you got to prepare for that. And you have to understand, if you see a big spike, it could be because of something very temporary in your industry. So, Google Trends, if you look really closely at it, it can give you some real good indications of how steady the business is in that industry.
I think you'll also see some interesting impacts from COVID as well. I mean, both positive and negative, and that shows up in trends. So, I mean, as you guys know, I do 360 virtual tours. I'm a Google trusted photographer, and obviously COVID virtual tours went up, and there's a significant step up, and then it's come down after that. There was a 3 months since May last year when it stepped up, and it's dropped down, but it's at a higher level than it was before. So that's just, more people are aware of virtual tours, they're more popular, and it's in my opinion, a good niche to be looking at. So definitely some interesting information, seasonality and trends. Absolutely.
Yeah, Don makes a very good point. To get ahead of the curve and pull back before it drops off. That's every good investor, every good business person is trying to do just that. So great point, Don. So Stephen, are you ready for your presentation? Sure.
I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Lucky enough tonight, I'm not going to bore people for ages because it's going to be a nice, easy presentation to talk about what is a dynamic page. Now, the thing with people get confused when using Magic Page plugin, and as I said last week, I went through a similar slide explaining bits and pieces about Magic Page plugin. It has its own SEO built in that you can create in it, and it will also create your own sitemaps by ticking a box. But in very basic terms, when you're building a dynamic page, think about it this way: when you've got home, most places have home broadband, and when you're given home broadband, you're given an IP address, and if you turn your router off and back on again, that IP address changes. Unless you're in a business, and a business gives what's called a static IP address. That's a permanent IP address you keep forevermore. So the home one ends up with what's called a dynamic IP address. It changes when the router's rebooted, and it's a similar idea when it comes to Magic Page plugin. That if you got a static page, what you'd have is mysite.com plumber boiler servicing. Now, if this was a static page, it would be there all the time. So you could go and edit the page physically on its own. You may have another page that could be underfloor heating. You'd have another one to do with boiler repairs itself rather than servicing, plumbing needs, anything sort of like that. You could have physical pages, and you could go in on each individual page and change those pages manually with additional content. With a dynamic version in Magic Page plugin, it's basically a single page that you created, and it'll only get generated on the fly. So what I mean by that is when someone visits the mysite.com/plumber/boiler services, you'll find that it will bounce in and build it instantly as soon as they go to it. Sometimes there's a few seconds delay. So with the new version of Magic Page plugin, which is now fully up and running, I was very lucky last week to get the latest copy because there was a couple of issues with it. So with the latest version, it will generate a single page, and then you say but spun content on it, lots of extra content, and you say, now I want to build 250 pages. And provided you spun the content and added the X fields, which we use to change main keywords and location-based keywords, it will then go off and generate 250 pages in an instant. Then you can go into WordPress, go to where the pages are, and you'll see all 250 pages there built for you. In the dynamic version, you wouldn't see them in pages because they don't exist until someone visits that actual URL. What are the advantages between dynamic and physical pages? Well, the advantage having a physical page is it gets added to the sitemap, and then when Google finds your sitemap, it goes, oh, hello, there's 250 pages on this site. I'm very happy. I'm now going to index them one by one. Gradually, it may take you 3 months, maybe like the next day, but it'll go and index them knowing they're there. With the dynamic versions, it doesn't really know they're there. So the only way you could get a dynamic page to appear is to add it manually into the actual sitemap itself. So you go and get the URL for yourself and paste it into a sitemap. So now Magic Page plugin has been updated. You can build the physical pages, and I would recommend try when you first build a site with this plugin, make sure, and it's with any mass page tool, that you build small first, because if you're building a page like a proper business website, if you build 1,000 pages overnight, Google's going to say, well, hang on a minute, he's only a small business bloke on his own, so local plumber. He's built 1,000 pages in half an hour. That's not right. So you can drip feed them, which is a cool thing, which means you can say, over 90 days, build me X amount of pages. But when you first get a brand new site up, just take your time. Build maybe 50, leave it a little while, let it build another 50, leave it a little while. And then as time goes on, you can add more and more pages in local areas. But really, that's what it comes down to, dynamic and physical pages. For those that I know there's been some confusion, and I've been asked it a lot.
Okay, we're back to Eric there. So yeah, so you've explained it very, very well. You touched on a few things that I always like to tell people starting out is to start small enough to get indexed and to start to get rankings before you start to add more and spread your front end sitemap out too thin. That's one part of the algorithm you have to be aware of. Also, the other part of the algorithm is Google does not play nice with automated content production. So whatever it is, whether it's video creation, whether it's image creation, anything that's bulk created, typically until you have a lot of authority, there's always a sensitivity to that from what I've seen over the years. And so I think you've given some great advice on that. When it comes to the new Magic Page plugin, the thing that excites me the most about it is the fact that you can, when you're breaking these things into these mini static projects, you can break it into groups. So you can actually have one page for one group, one page for another group, one page for another group. And that is sort of the template that creates everything in that group. And when you link all of that stuff together, all right, you can have some various angles to go with your web pages. So you could have like some people have like maybe a city page, but then they maybe have like things to do in the cities, and those are other groupings of pages that link up to the city. Or you could have like, some kind of a service page, and then underneath it you could have sub-services, sub-niches that can point up to the service page. So none of that stuff was exactly easy to do with the previous version of Magic Page plugin, because it was all dynamic and it was all based on that one template. So that one dynamic template. So you make the change to that, it would instantly change every single page. You couldn't like build a certain static template, fulfill it with the data, and then let it sit there and let it hold its spot on the website. Would you agree with that, Stephen?
Absolutely. I mean, it's good. It's a really good plugin, and there's a few different mass page plugins out there that I know people have. And I say with when you're doing lead generation or you're building a site for yourself in a particular niche, all I ever build initially is the main pages. So it's your home page, your about us page, service page, contact us page, and maybe off the service page you'd have 4, 5, 6, maybe even up to 10 extra pages about those services. All right, then let Google index it and leave it alone for a while. Go and build another site, especially in lead generation. Start on another one, or you can back up that one and go and put on another domain name and change it enough to be unique for the next domain name. Leave that alone, then go and do another one, and then after 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month, come back to the first one and generate 50 pages in the local area. Tell it to drip feed them over a few weeks, then wait, go to the next one, and just gradually, think about it. If you are a local business, let's say you want to do lead generation in plumbing, and you're just starting out in it, would you build a 1,000-page national website overnight? You wouldn't, right? Mm-hmm. You'd want to build a local site as a local plumber and build it up gradually, and so and that's the advantage of this. And like the tools that Simon shared tonight, that will help you on your way to getting the SEO right and getting anything to do with the GMB right. I say it week in, week out, when it comes to a GMB, set it and forget it. So what I mean, name, address, and phone number, set it once and leave it alone. Because that way, then if you go back to change it, Google asks you to re-verify. If you can't re-verify it for whatever reason, then you've lost that GMB. So, but yeah, it's the new version of Magic Page plugin is going to be super exciting to be able to do groups on it. You can still make, you can only still make one Magic Page, but what you can do is save it as a template in Elementor, mm-hmm. and then build a new one with the
Right.
content on, save that, and just keep an Excel sheet of what groups you created and for what keywords. That's the key to it, because if you forget, you may have 10 pages saved in under templates,
Mhm.
and if you haven't labeled them right and saved them in an Excel sheet, how on earth are you going to keep track when you get to 50 or 100 in the future?
Right. And we're looking at ways to make our form work with multiple Xfield sets that you can create. So each grouping, let's say you're building a page that has certain data that you want to change the next time you do a different group, we can do that in our form and then just pass that information over to Magic Page. So, everything changes when, one opportunity happens, it opens up some other possibilities. So, we're looking at that, and along with some other advanced things that we're going to start to share a little bit with people. That what you can do with this is pretty cool.
It is super exciting, with your form, Daryl, to be able to put all the content in it top to bottom, save it, and come back to it at a later date to change it for another site, and then export it again. It simplifies the whole process for people. And especially where then you can generate a page in a group, pull that page back in, grab the content from your form, zap it back up and change it instantly. If you build these properly and take your time, the key to building a website, especially when you're using spun content, is to spin it properly. And what I mean by that is, don't go, spin rewriter is great and products like that are fantastic. But if they don't read right after they spun, Google's going to know you've used a spinner. Very plain and simple. So you've got to make sure that you are using great content that is readable. Especially in this day and age now, where we live in a world where people want to sue people for absolutely anything. So so you may have the wrong color on your website and they're trying to do you for it, or you've stolen content. That's a thing that is, in my eyes, is a big no. It's okay to use content from another site, okay, but reword it for yourself. And that's the advantage. That's one thing like Siphon does great, is the fact that it will grab content in and reword it. So it means then you can just go and see that content and make sure it reads right. If it doesn't quite read right, add your own little words in, spin it a bit more. When I spin a site, I spin the smaller words rather than the bigger words, so it still reads right. But people do it differently,
right?
But just make sure you spin enough content on that page. If I'm going to create 100 pages with this in the future, how much content do I need to write on the site to make that sensible? And I mean, I noticed Robert's in the group, and he said, "Hello, gentlemen, spending time with the family on a holiday in Orlando. Hope you're having a good time, Robert." Robert's great because he's been on 2 boot camps, and he was losing faith in the whole process, and he really struggled hard. And then he contacted me. I became his mentor. He paid me to mentor him, and then it led on to him working with me to build some sites, which in the next few weeks we will be releasing to people. We'll have a big announcement with the next couple of weeks on it, and they are done for you sites with all the content that you're going to use. But that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to go I want to keep people waiting on it, and the content that you can change quickly works with Daryl's form as well. So it's super exciting stuff coming up for people to make your lives easier. That's what we do with our tools.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Simon?
Yeah, I just agreeing on the whole idea of trying to make sure things are authentic and look realistic. And the point you said there, Steve, about a national plumbing website with 1,000 pages overnight is not realistic. And the tools can do that. You can load up 1,000 locations. You can load up more than that. You can put them all in place, and within a few days you can have a 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 page website if you want to. But how Google's going to see that, and from an SEO perspective, you don't want hundreds, thousands of pages that are just not being crawled and not being visited, because ultimately Google's look at that, they're going to see them as dead pages, and that's going to absolutely tank your website. You want to have a sensible number, and I think the kind of order of magnitude you're talking about there, Steve, is 50, 100. Focus them on an area that's realistic as well, that's linked in with your GMB, and you're following like a regional local business, 25, 30, 40 miles. that looks authentic, and if that looks like your competitors and they're the ones that are ranking the top of Google for your keywords, that's where you're going to be able to compete. But just because the tools can let you automate 1,000 pages, you don't have to go, and you shouldn't go and do that. So yeah, absolutely make it authentic.
You know, I once ranked a website, a local website, right, and the competitors had, if I remember right, about 500 pages on the site of content. I did 10 pages, right, and I outranked them, and I did it a very simple way. I created the content, made it readable, made it look good, built the service pages out, and then all I did differently was match the citations that all the competitors had, and did only the citations that all competitors had. So if one had only 2 citations, next one had 4, I'd make sure that if those 4 were different to the 2, that I'm on all 6. And I would do that with all the competitors, build up my citations, make sure they're all good, make sure I've got good keywords, on page, off page SEO, and then I just left it. And after a while, Google picked up on it, and then people were visiting the site and staying on the site longer because the content was good, and that outranked me above someone with a very large website. So it can be done, but you know, local keywords helps as well, and long tail keywords.
Yeah. I'll just say, look at the example I just showed on SEO Quake. That was that Brighton electrician. I just chose the guy that was #1 ranked, and that's going to be a very good keyword. That's going to have hundreds and hundreds of searches a month. I mean, there was only 850 or so words on the homepage, and the whole site is 79 to 80 pages, something like that. So you know, that's a typical highly ranked local website. You know, not more than 100 pages, not mass. You know, not 5,000 words on a service page. You know, that's what Google is rewarding and putting at the top. So take note of that, and don't do anything that's disproportionate to what's already at the top of the page one.
And I know some people may say, okay, I built myself my local plumber's website and I've got 80 pages or 100 pages on it, but I don't want to go any more than that. What do I do next? Buy another domain name, pick another location. Right, if you spun the content on every single page, you can grab that site, clone it to another domain name, change a few images, all right, change a few keywords on it, and then let that site rank in the local area as a different business. As a lead gen, you could have 10 sites all in a local area, with spun content across all of them, so they all look different. And the thing is, it's a numbers game with lead generation, and you guys have an advantage point to what the national lead gen companies do, right? That is because you are local. So if you've got a big city near you that you can say, I'm going to hit that city hard with a particular niche, and then I'm going to build my site, and then I'm going to build loads of mini sites around it, then you end up with 10 sites. So if site number 1 happened to get penalized by Google and taken down, you've got 9 other sites in that local area that will help you generate leads. So it's just a numbers game at the end of the day, and the more content you sort of get out there and people find you, and do all the social media channels that you can do as well, people gradually find you, and it works really, really well. You don't need a large website where you've got multiple websites running for you.
Yeah. We just had a great question come through from Phil Gatlin. I just met Phil today on Facebook, and he has been building websites with basic code and doing mass page, and his sites are ranking quite well with what he has done with his own process. But he was very happy to find that we're talking about this kind of content, as he found us from watching Chris Palmer. So welcome aboard, Phil. And this is a great question. A lot of people have asked this before. Does having more pages dilute the power of your overall site? And I think we could go around the room and get 3 different opinions on this. My opinion is that the answer is yes. If you haven't done it, what I call is the Google dance, where is your authority and traffic starts to match up with the number of pages that you have with similar content. So example, when you start off maybe with 50 pages, you do the Google dance, you get the traffic, you get the rankings, you get the authority, then of course you can add another 50 pages or 150 pages, and then slowly but surely your index starts to earn all of those pages, and you can do quite well with it. The other thing is I would say, and this is just from years of doing this, is to follow the hierarchy model. Whereas your very hardest rank pages are at the top of the food chain, and the other ones are sub oriented below that. So your suburb pages and your minor towns are further down the chain. And there's a few different people that have philosophies that you go with the smallest pages first and work your way up to the biggest pages. I like to go from the middle and have the biggest pages, the middle pages, and then I build the finer pages down the road. But that's just how I do it. How about you guys? You want to take a shot at it?
I agree with you on that, Daryl. But go on, Simon. You go first.
Yeah, but I mean, my concern about having lots of pages, particularly build them early on, is that you just don't get any user signals at all, and you might throw a load out and Google might look at them, and I say you have this Google dance, and then because there's no authority and you may not have traffic coming in from other sources, there's hundreds of pages with no traffic, and Google very early on takes a view that these are not valuable pages. They don't add any value, and the lack of user signals just sinks it. So I think that's a risk, and obviously outbound links on the page as well. I always recommend putting an authority link or two on a content page to give it some relevance and show external linking. I think that's a good practice, but I wouldn't have 20, 30, 50, 100, unless there was a very specific reason to, on all of my service pages. I think you can pass link juice out. You want to make sure that's kept internally and your internal linking structure works well. And obviously Magic Page and Mass Page helps that by encouraging internal linking, and that's going to give you that power. But I wouldn't pass too much power out to external links, but yeah, 1 or 2 authority links per content pages is good. And yeah, user signals, just be really careful about building 1,000 pages on day one. It's not going to go well if you do that.
No, and I agree with both those comments there. And I, like Daryl said, go with the middle and work your way either side. But also, I look at the competition every time I'm building a new site in an area. I look at the competition. I say, how many pages does the competition have? And you'll find a local plumber will probably have, maybe most plumbers have 4 to 5 pages. Some of the bigger boys in the local area that are larger companies would have paid a company to build a site, and they'll have sub pages about boiler repairs and underfloor heating and all the bits and pieces related to that. But you got to get the average between all of them and build your first site in that very way, and then say to yourself, let's just start off with a smaller location. With Magic Page, one thing I've noticed, you can download every single location in an area onto it. I like to say you do population on the filters. You can say a minimum of 1,000 people, maximum 5,000 people. So you could then do a more radius with those areas in it. But initially, just look at the other websites, your competition, see what they're doing, look at their keywords, do data research on them, and then build your site and let it get authority first. Once it's got authority, then add more and more pages slowly. But maximum, I believe, is 250 pages max on a local plumber's website. If you're doing a directory site, that's different. Directory site, you can have it unlimited because it's a directory site. And I've built a few at a time with thousands of pages on there of local businesses, and it doesn't seem to affect it. It's only if it's a proper local business website that if you build a large site, it'll get damaged very quickly.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the age of the domain, the authority, the traffic that is existing. But I think there's on average, I think that's a good rule of thumb, Stephen, that you mentioned there. Very good, great question. Simon says, yes, I'm thinking the same. It also limits your risk if one site gets tanked. So yeah. that was with regard to what you were speaking of earlier. Divin says, is Divin one of your guys there, Simon?
Well, I think Steve knows him originally, but I had a chat. I caught up with Divin recently. Divin's a photographer, so I know him there, and I think Steve knows him as well.
Yeah, no, he's an awesome guy. He's a photographer in Birmingham way. One thing I will add, when you're focusing on lead generation, right, or any website, come to think of it, don't when you're going to expand, Like if you're a photographer and you build a photographer's website in a location, you're going to build 5 more, right? Don't overdo it. Like, build your first one, get it built properly, then look at a second one, a third one. I know some people that want to build 200 sites in 5 minutes across the whole of the UK. That's okay, but you can't manage them as well. Learn the craft with maybe 4 to 5 sites initially, get them right, and then rinse and repeat and get the process faster and faster and faster. And the other thing is as well, if you are a one-man band and you feel overwhelmed at times with any of this, right, go to Upwork, go to Fiverr, find someone who can help you with it at a good price. But I think I'm saying I want help building a website. I outsource all my website builds now most of the time, for the themes and stuff, because it's just a lot easier and it's a lot less stressful. Time is money, so you got to really focus. I have a whiteboard just up here, and I've said this before. I have the hard tasks in one row and the easy tasks in the other. When I'm having a bad day, I have fibromyalgia. So when I'm in a lot of pain and having a bad day, I will pick all the easy tasks and I'll tick them off one by one by one. Right. When I'm having a good day, I hit the hard tasks one by one, and I work from the top down. Things I need to do. If you're getting into this, whether you're into lead generation or your local business watching this and wanting to build a website, say, what are the tasks I need to do to build this website? Buy a domain name, get hosting, get a good theme, add content. Right. Write those things down and tick them off as you go along, but keep the list, because when you do the next one, you can say, right, buy a domain name, get hosting. Well, I've already got hosting. I'll set it up on there. The third one is build a site. Well, actually, I've got a site built. I'll just copy that one over to there and change it for this one. That's going to save you hours of work. So it's about being boxing clever and making sure that you focus on the tasks. And one thing I do say the most, right, when if you're focusing on this sort of stuff, and the next big shiny object comes out from JV Zoo, throw that in the bin. No matter how tempting you are, right? There's no magic push button to make money straight away. You have to build a business up like any other business. So I used to buy everything that came out. I'll buy that and I'll try it, and it didn't work. Buy that, try it, didn't work. What worked for me was saying my passion is lead generation. My passion is building these sites in lead generation. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to focus on. And I've been very successful in what I've been doing with lead generation, and that's also led on to products with Leadgenmagic to help people along the way, and meeting Daryl and Simon with the things they do. So it's all about focusing. And yes, there's tools out there. The tools we give you help your life helps you make your life easier. All right, but if you're someone scraping the barrel financially, then I say, get the bare minimum of tools first of all, make money, and then buy the extra tools that will make your life even quicker. You're muted, Daryl.
I was just saying, very good advice. Yeah, you gotta start where you're at. Lead generation, I've always enjoyed as well. I've basically made a career out of it my whole adult life, and I enjoy it. I think that it's being sort of the middleman, but being able to find a way to help people find what they're looking for, whether you have a directory and lead gen, or you're just doing a lot of just straight up lead generation websites or lead magnets, whatever it might be. It's exciting to be able to get leads into people's hands and sales teams' hands, and allow people to build up, build $1 million businesses off of just doing some web design and doing some creative things with mass page and landing pages and things like that. So it's I'm sold on it, obviously, or I wouldn't be making all these tools and I wouldn't be consulting and helping people as much as I am. But I'm glad that you guys are on the team and working with us too, and helping people to do the same as well. Okay.
And I know. Something I was going to say. I'm not sure if Daryl does this. Myself and Simon do. At Stephen-Brocklehurst.com, you can actually get 15 minutes of my time for free. Do you give any free time, Daryl, for people?
I do it if it's just like a chat kind of thing in Facebook or something. But usually for like a Zoom call, we usually charge for that, unless I'm doing a partnership or something with somebody.
But the main reason I give 15 minutes to somebody is the questions I ask them straight away is where you're at with your business and what are your goals with your business, and then I give 15 minutes of advice. If they want to continue, they can pay for more. But the main thing is, I say, people I speak to, the thing that comes up time and time again is they try and do this lead generation, they get downhearted because they're not getting the calls in like next week. Right. And the thing is, it can take you 6 months. I'm known to somebody who's taken a year before they started getting their first calls in, right? Because of how fast they work, whether they're doing it part-time, whether they're focused in the right direction. There's a whole bunch of things with this, with any business, and you mustn't get downhearted, right? You must focus, make a list of the important things to get done, get them done. And if you then need help, reach out to people like us who can give you a little bit of our time to help you. And give you a little bit more direction, and then if you need more help, we have to charge. We don't. If I'd love to give all my time away for free, but if I did that, I wouldn't have any time to run my business, and then my family would suffer. I'd have the missus nagging me in the ear that she can't go on holiday 1 year or buy biscuits or something, So we have to charge for our time to stop people from just taking up our time day in, day out. There was a point when a couple of years ago where I spent more time helping people than working on my own business, and then COVID hit, and then my business was affected because I didn't focus on my business in the right way. But all of us three here have had ups and downs in our businesses. We know the pitfalls, we know the good times, right? And we're happy to help you guys. You have to understand that, whilst we're happy to maybe give you 15 minutes of our time to give you direction, that if you need more time, you have to understand that we do have to charge for it to make it fair on everybody.
We got to get a little tip jar next to your picture there, Stephen, so somebody can send you some Venmo or a little biscuit fund. So awesome. So why don't you guys start putting your names in the chat? If you want to win a domain, I will show you the domains that are up for grabs today before I go ahead with my little talk here. So I don't know if you guys can see this on your screen, but these are the domains that are up for grabs.
You clicked it off.
Okay, can you see it now? All right. These are the domains that are up for grabs. And I will take this off and show, because I think people liked to see what these were worth. So name worth, promotional rate is worth $9,450. Restoration prices is worth $1,450. Findcastle.com is worth $2,450. And Premier Vine is worth $14,500, according to Nameworth. If you go to Estabot, Premier Vine isn't appraised as high because there's not as many people searching for it. Find Castle would be a great one for UK directory, and that's worth $569 on Estabot. Restoration prices, I think this is undervalued at $99, and promotional rate is Estabot of $473, and you can get these for free. The CPC, the cost per click for Find Castle, is 76 cents. So people are paying 76 cents just to get that keyword to come up. So it's just a few things to think about. So make sure you throw your name in. We'll put it into the wheel of names after we're done. And I'm going to first go over a few things. So first off, last week there was some questions about Word AI. Word AI changed their endpoints for their spin tags, which we do use for mass.page. And so we had to go ahead and change that. So now if you hit spin, the spin text will work off of your credits. And Word AI made some changes to become similar to these other rewriters. And it does an okay job, but we've been testing it against what we're doing with Siphon in the background. And we found ours to be a lot more accurate. So we're very excited about how Siphon is matching up with other tools out there in the background. And we have a whole new layout and some new things, new features coming out that we should have out this week. So fingers crossed that everything is working as planned. We'll start to preview some of this and do some promo videos and whatnot. The other thing is you'll see in our YouTube channel, if you go to youtube.com and you search for Mass Page Tools, we'll just go in here and we'll just click on the thing here. Thankfully, we have 408 subscribers after being on for less than a year. I'm very happy about that. But if you go into the videos, you'll see we have some edits that we're taking and editing down some of the things we talk about on our Sunday Live into these shorter videos. So this one's 20 minutes, this one's 9 minutes, this one's only 2 minutes or a minute and a half. And so we're just taking some of the best and putting it in here. So these are great shareable types of pieces. So if you want to share it with someone, it's very easy to do it. You can just go ahead and just find the video. The reason why I'm doing this, in addition to that, we're adding some effects and making it fun to watch. But I want to be able to, if somebody asks me a question, I want to be able to search our YouTube and find the actual video, so I can just share that video to somebody in the chat and help them out with the information they're looking for and get right to it. So if you're helping people out and you are in our page, just go ahead and hit the little search. And let's say you're going to type in GMB. And you can find our things that have been tagged with GMB, okay? But as you can see, when we break it down, you can actually get the GMB stuff set up there. So, all right, so that's that. Now, we've been talking about CSV Wizard, and in the past, we have talked about the dataset generator, and I'm going to now show you the difference between the two. If you are a member of mass.page, you get the dataset generator. And the neat thing about this is made for Magic Page plugin, okay? Because in the data sets for Magic Page plugin, you have to have a latitude and longitude, and you have to have a city, okay? Or it doesn't have to be a city, it has to be at least that field. You also have to have a county and a country, okay? But at the very least, you have to have those three things: the county, the latitude, longitude, which is 2 things, and then the city as well. All right. So to do the Magic Dataset Generator, I want to first show you inside of a Magic Page website, there's a locations tab. And if you've added your locations from the database through the settings tab, you'll see them all in here. And if you go and you click on edit, okay, you'll see all the information. Here's the latitude, longitude, here's the zip code, the region, the county, and I'll explain the county to you in a minute. In the United States, is it a major city? And then any other additional fields that were in your spreadsheet go down below here, which you can call up into your page with these meta tags. So it says meta cadence starter templates imported term. Okay, so that could be whatever you put into your spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the import export. I'm going to just take a look and see, because I don't know if this is let's see, settings and import export, and it looks like the locations that I have in here came directly from Magic Page. Okay, so I need to go into the settings, and I'm going to go to Magic Page database. I hate these things.
It's always the way, and it always asks you.
Yeah, they're always asking
when you don't want it to.
yeah. So let's see what, here we go. Uninstall region. So I'm going to install New York. Let me see if there's any others. All right. So that is that. Let's go continue to settings. And we will go in now and look at locations. Okay. And there's just a few in here. I'm just going to delete these. Okay. Now we have no locations. Okay. Now, if we wanted to, you can always export the locations that came from Magic Page plugin. But today I'm going to show you how to bring in things other than locations, because this is what I was asked to do is to show how this magic data set generator works. And it gives us a good transition to show you the new CSV Wizard and explain how that is working and what it can do. Okay, so inside of here, we don't have any locations right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to this website here, and this is data.world, and you can have some different CSV files that you can use to experiment with this type of non-city data set. So this is one called generic foods, CSV. And I downloaded it, okay? And over to the left side, I'll just show you over on here. It says food name, scientific name, group, and subgroup. And you can see here, possibly if your screen's big enough, you can see what they are. This is herbs and spices is the group, and the subgroup is herbs. This one's vegetables, and it says cabbages for the more specific. So what I'm thinking of doing with this data is I'm going to make the group, the county, okay? Because I like how I could group these together for like a website where I have the different food names linked in with these. They seem very generalized, like I would want to be able to do in a hierarchy structure. I'm going to have the subgroup be let's go with the region, all right? And the country is the trunk of the tree. Let me see. I'll use the subgroup as the trunk of the tree. Okay. So we have trunk, branch, and leaf. Let me explain how this is going to work. So and eventually I'll probably change this because this was just to make it general, but it's really just for Magic Page plugin. The trunk of the tree goes in as the country. The branch of the tree goes in as the county. Okay, and then the leaf of the tree would be the city name. Okay, when it goes into the data set. So those are like the three things that you have to set in order to make something for the data set. Then whatever you didn't set with those three becomes something that gets added at the end, which becomes a meta tag. Okay, which you can use later down the road. So let's say this had like 15 different columns. All those additional columns would go under as meta fields that could be used inside of the Magic Page or WordPress or whatever you're interested in, putting them into your page. If you didn't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Okay, so it's just those three fields are the most important things that you have to do. So I've already downloaded this as a CSV. And I'm going to go into our Magic Data Set Generator, which is just on the left-hand column inside of your Mass Page tools. And you're going to go click on this, and we're going to go and find the file. All right, generic food, CSV. Okay. We're going to upload this. Okay, and here we go. Select the trunk, tree, branch, and leaf. All right, so it's in the order that you pick them in. So I'm going to make the trunk of the tree the subgroup, the group is the branch, and the food name is the leaf. Then scientific name will just go at the end. So I hit generate, and it is ready to download. Okay. So now when we download this, you have the file here, and this is prepared for Magic Page plugin. All right, so it has fake latitude, longitude, all within a 100-mile radius. We have this automatically going in, which is a pain in the neck to do if you have to do that on your own. Okay, so we've put the actual ingredient over here under the location name. The header has to stay just the way it is in here. Okay, the zip code in this region aren't necessary, so I didn't put anything in there. Okay. The county is what will bridge all of these together. Okay. Country we can use in the page as something to better define these. Okay. And then if you notice, we have major city and we have the scientific name. Now the scientific name will just create a meta field at the locations that we bring in. Okay, these names. Major city is if you wanted to say, okay, I'm going to recognize green onion and garlic because those are stinky ones. And we're just going to put a 1 at both of those. Okay. And that will make those as featured major cities, which if you understand Magic Page, you'll understand how those could be highlighted and mentioned more in your city shortcodes. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this XLS file. Actually, I'm going to save it as a CSV file. Let's see. Okay. Copy generic food. Okay. So now if I go back to the settings here, I'm going to go into import export and I'm going to import locations. I'm going to put in ingredients. All right. And we're going to hit continue. It's going to ask us for a file, and it has to be XLS or CSV file format. I think I just saved this as a CSV, so we'll be able to pull that up as a CSV. All right, and let's see, 602. I just have to extract here. Where did that file go? It should be a folder.
Just while Daryl's doing that,
Yep.
quick reminder, those that haven't got your names in to win a domain name in a bit, pop them in. I've sent you a list, Daryl, on Skype with people I've seen so far, so you can copy and paste that in. Yeah, get your name, got to be in it to win it. If you already put your name in, you don't have to do it again. And after Daryl's amazing presentation that he's been doing so far, you'll be able to win a domain name. Don't forget to also like and share our videos and tell people about our groups as well, if you would, please.
Thank you very much, Stephen. You always keep us honest with everything. I appreciate that. So we're bringing in these ingredients as locations. So now if you're going to build out information website, you might want to be able to have ingredients like this. And maybe additional information you could pull into the page as well. So you could take inside that spreadsheet, say one column has a definition of that particular ingredient, or maybe what it could be put into, or things like that. So if you notice, there's 907 that were just imported. So now if we go into Magic Page and location, here are all those ingredients from the spreadsheet. Okay. So if we go to allspice, you'll see here's our fake latitude, longitude. It created a slug for us. Okay. It skipped zip code and region. It has a county, which we can group these with the county short code. And then it has the country, which is the subtype, which you can use as well. Now, that last thing, the scientific name, went down here at the bottom. And then you can use this inside of your Magic Page as well. Meta scientific name with the underscores. Okay. So now you have that. And if you go to the home page, you'll see where there is Plumbers Inn. If there's a location, let me see if I have to maybe set inside of Magic Page, you have to set a location. Okay, now that we cleared out the data set, you have to go in here. So I'm just going to type in all, because I want allspice to show up. Okay, and I pick allspice, and if you put in 1,000 miles, 907 will show up. But if you just put in 10 miles, okay, let's say you wanted to build out a site slowly, you'd have only 129 ingredients that would show up, okay? Because it's all based in that latitude, longitude that we created for you. So you could build out a site slowly but surely with this, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit update, because I always like to start up a site with room to grow. So I like to expand out the mileage later, okay? So if you go to here and see, plumbers and allspice. Okay, so we have that in here. Now, if you go down to the locations field, let's say this is an old plumber site. I think I have it up at the top, maybe. Allspice. Oh, yeah, here they are. Peppermint, prunus, cherry plum. So now you can click on Oxheart cabbage, and it's going to pull that information in here. So any of the fields that we put in, we can pull in to build out whatever page we're trying to do. Okay, so that explains, hopefully, does that explain well to you guys how this works?
Yeah, I mean, for someone new watching this, what I say to you is where it's got like Oxheart there at the moment, that is a square bracket, and in between it is the word location. So anywhere where you place square brackets location on your site, it will show that in there. Here we go. That was going to show you. See, so Xfield niches is a Xfield on its own with niches in it. The location set is the location set, and underneath it says square bracket city space count equals 5. If you change that to 10, that would put 10 of them below. If you put 1, it put 1 of them below. So it's the nearest. It classes the nearest 5 or 10 cities, but of course we've changed the cities on this to be ingredients. I see a great potential with this as well. You think if you want to build out an affiliate site for Amazon, for example, if you know where to get the data from, you can go off and get, effing about TVs, for an example, pull in a whole load of those, pull them into here, and with the new Magic Page plugin, generate the physical pages. Then you've got X amount of pages built all about televisions, for an example. So there's so many products out there on Amazon. When you build something I've noticed, when you build a site about products, review products, as you build that more and more and more, you could end up with thousands of pages. Google will see it's a review site rather than a local business, and they don't penalize those. So you can become an affiliate on almost anything if you know where to get the data sets from.
Right.
And then pull into the data set generator, zap it into Magic Page, build out a Magic Page with those X fields on, and boom, you've got yourself an affiliate site, and you've built yourself 100 pages in minutes rather than weeks.
Absolutely. So that's the Magic Dataset Generator. It is made for the Magic Page plugin, and we're very excited about what it can do with the latitude, longitude. And so you can, basically build off of any topic that you want. The reason why we built this new product called CSVWizard.com is because we wanted to make it so that we can do the same kind of thing for other softwares. Okay, so you can manipulate the data very quickly from any particular data source and get it in line with, let's say, Page Generator Pro or any other tool that you're looking to get your data set in line with. Okay, so if you are interested in the software, it's $27 a month. But it's free for any enterprise users. So if you're an enterprise user and you want to get access to it, there's only one user in the group that has access to it so far, and that was George. He got started with me early on it. Just the other day, he got first access. So if you are interested and you're an enterprise user, go ahead and message me at support@mass.page, and make sure you show that you are a registered enterprise user. We can also look you up as well. And we can get you access. The way you do that is you just go to app.csvwizard.com and you sign up. Hit the sign up link here. You put in your name, your email address, and your password, and you create an account. And then you just let me know inside of support@mass.page that you have an account, and we'll go ahead and get you upgraded for free. So you won't have to pay $27 a month. But if this is something you are interested in, you can go ahead and get it for yourself to support the project. So if I log into here, I'll show how this works. So basically, the reason why I built this is to create templates that take your master Excel file or CSV file and sort of your target file, okay? And it merges the data together, okay? So that you don't have to, and this could work with any master, okay? So if you have, a master that has, 40 different columns and it's all in a certain order and everything's named a certain way, right? You can set up that master, and then you can bring in the thing you want to pair it with, and it will remember that combination. And then every single time you open up this template, let's say we go to a template here, and then you choose your template, okay? This is the format of this particular file, okay? So when I go ahead and bring in a file, okay, it's gonna take and change whatever I have in this and match it up with what I have assigned the columns to be. So I will go to my downloads folder. And so far, I have not found anything that does quite this. I built it because I wanted it for what we do, and I figured it would be helpful for those that are building sites down the road. So with MassPage, being able to modify your data set or modify any kind of data that you're going into, let's say, a Yive product, or any kind of thing that uses a CSV to make dynamic mass pages or mass videos or mass, anything, you have to get the data set up the right way. So I'm taking this format, which is different than this, right? And I'm going to upload it. I'm going to choose the file type, CSV. I'm not going to change the number of rows. I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to download it. Now what that's done is it took the secondary file and matched it up to the first file perfectly. Okay, so now I can import this into Leads Detective, which is one of our other products. Okay, so that's how we cleaned up the data to get it set for that. Now I also did like one for domain estimations. And so I can take something from a data set of domain estimations, prices of domains for another project we're working on, and it will automatically put everything in the right columns, rename it, and do everything like that. So it's a really good tool if you deal with data spaces and you're trying to do mass anything, and you want to get things in the right columns and the right names and all of that easily. Because once you do it once you match it once, you hit generate new, and you start with your master file. And once you set this match up, you save that template. The next time you want to do that same combination again, you just call up the template and you go ahead and match up your target and hit save, and it all comes down. Okay. We have some new things that'll be coming out eventually with this, where you can do things in bulk. That's coming soon, and we'll be having it so you can convert in bulk XLS to CSV and CSV to XLS. And we're looking for other ideas to do with CSV Wizard. But we want to make this tool for mass page builders, people that have to get things aligned for their data sets without having to manually change around their headings and their formats and all of that kind of stuff. We want to make it as easy as possible to do this. Okay. So again, it's app.csvwizard.com. We're not fully launching this. This is just for people who are watching this tonight, that you can go in and register. If you go to csvwizard.com, you'll see there's no page there because we haven't launched this yet officially to people. Okay, so you have access to it if you want it. If you want to get yourself in there, you can do that. Okay. So that's that for me. I think
that's going to be a great tool. I mean, if you're someone that is into affiliate marketing, and it's not just Amazon. There's lots of variations out. There's eBay. There's loads of affiliate plans, and if you could build yourself a good sized site with products on it very quickly, using data that you can grab from somewhere, I think you could build a mass page using Magic Page plugin very, very quickly. And I think maybe, Daryl, we should have a chat about putting together some examples in the near future. Maybe we should do try and put together a site of some sort with affiliate products on to show people us doing it in the near future, how quick you can build it. I think that would be a great opportunity to show people how quickly we can use that tool to zap into Magic Page, and boom, you got yourself a site built very, very quickly. I see lots of potential for that product, Daryl. I really do.
Awesome. Well, I built it because, again, it was one of those things that I use it. I need to change around data files all the time. So I figured other people must be running into this same problem. And I've never in all these years discovered a product that does just what I just did here. And because we'll be able to soon be able to do it in a batch file, you'll be able to do 50 of these files all at once. And it'll be awesome. So it'll save you a whole lot of time doing stuff like that. So somebody says Facebook user, I think is George. I'm not sure. It says this is gold, Daryl.
Yeah.
Which site is this again? That is app.csvwizard.com. App.csvwizard.com.
Well, make sure afterwards, Daryl, as well. You share those links under the videos in our group so that people can get to them easily.
Okay.
Because I know StreamYard doesn't share out to groups, so we'll make sure we do that.
Okay, if you can do that, I'm doing the wheel of names right now. I'm getting things into the wheel of names.
I'll grab them all from you. And we can do them after the show. We'll put them in afterwards so people can get to them.
Share screen, wheel of names.
If you grab the list from Skype and also add Vivek, Vivek, into the list that I missed.
Yeah.
And now, if your name's not on there, pop your name in now. Got to be in it to win it. We'll give you about a minute or so because I know there's a slight delay on the stream to win one of the domain names, which in a moment we'll get Daryl to flick up briefly.
Yeah, let's do
Just
that.
to tease.
Let's show again the names.
John says it's the best game on any given Sunday.
There you
Wheel
go.
of names.
So premiervine.com I thought would be a great brand for a wine service or for high-end wines. I thought that would be a great thing for that. Findcastle.com would be awesome if you were building something for like wedding venues and things like that. You're looking for a castle to have your wedding at. Restoration Prices would be great for if you're looking for a website for people that clean up from mold, mildew, flooding restoration, that kind of thing. Promotionalrate.com I thought would be good if you were looking for a directory of credit cards or affiliate things that have a promotional rate to start and then it changes after a while. You could do something along that line. I think that's a really strong domain as well. That's just from my opinion. But somebody's going to...
These are great domain names. And just a quick reminder, disclaimer, if you win and you haven't claimed it within 2 weeks, actually moved it to yourself within 2 weeks, it gets booked back into the pool of domains to be given to someone else. So make sure you reach out to Daryl if you win tonight.
Yep. Last call on names. Just put it inside the chat. Make sure you share, like, and all of the good things there. You were going to say, Simon?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think there were some people on the call earlier on. I'm not going to name them, but I don't think they're on the list. But I think that's because they're not still listening. So they've obviously missed out on the wheel of names. But that's kind of it, really. Well, Robert's not. He might not be around anymore. Depends how strict you want to be on this.
I would put Robert on just because he did participate in the chat.
Yeah.
Should we put Divin on as well? Because he said we were all heroes. So
yeah,
we'll take that.
That's maybe we're gonna be a little biased on him now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that's everyone. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, we'll do a big spin on the wheel and we'll see what happens. Here we go.
Good luck, everyone.
And
is it gonna be Robert or Divin? Divin. Yay!
Well done, Divin.
The two people that came in at the end there. That's okay.
All right.
We'll make sure Divin knows about that.
Yeah, Divin, if you're on, make sure you say hello and let us know which of those domains you are interested in. Again, I'll flash it on the screen here. Premiervine.com, findcastle.com, restorationprices.com, and promotionalrate.com. You can always reach out to me on Facebook, and I will try to find you as well if we don't hear from you tonight. Very good. So another successful night. We're going to now open up the chat. If you guys want to talk a little bit, I'll go ahead and set up the chat line here.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight we've learned an awful
Sounds
lot,
good.
so it's just a recap of what I did tonight. I talked about the dynamic pages and MPP, and I'll let Simon do a quick recap of what he talked about while Daryl sets up the link.
Yeah, sure. I talked about free SEO tools, and 3 of the tools that are my favorites, which are SEO Quake and GMB Everywhere, and answer the public. So they're my kind of 3 top tips. I can see a few people have already downloaded my list of 34 free tools from the link. So that's great.
What's the link again, Simon? Just to remind people.
I will pump up here. Hold on. Let's just see link. There we go.
So it's
LP.
Sorry,
I should probably change that. LP,
Okay.
simonhogman.com, free SEO tools. Yeah, you can see it on the screen. So
yeah,
you can download it. It's a PDF. I'm going to add to it, so I'll update that again. But there's 34 there. So
yeah.
You know, some ones are obvious, but some ones you probably haven't heard of, like GMB Everywhere was a new one for me, and sounds like for you guys too. So yeah. Hopefully that's useful.
And if there's any that aren't on the list, message
Let me
Simon.
know. Yeah,
let him know, and he'll get them added to the list, because there's plenty out there to help you guys. You know, there's some fantastic tools available, and then of course Daryl talked about the dataset generator tonight. So if you watch the last 2 minutes, some people do, they skip to the end to see who won the Wheel of Names. you can then look back, and something really exciting that we were talking about at the start is the fact that the amazing Daryl's now putting together the best of Sunday Night Live. So Sunday Night Live Extra, the golden nuggets of the show. So it means that you can cut all my waffle out and put the best bits in.
Well, we have a segment. We try to spread it out to the best of, and out of 2 or 3 shows, we'll get at least one good thing out of it, I think.
I think we can put
it on TikTok, can't we? Again, like it's just down to a minute and have a bit of a summary on there as well. There's a lot of potential here, I think.
If you speed up the hour and a half show, right, and then tell people to slow it down off of TikTok if they want to find out more.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Yeah, so you'll look out for the golden nuggets videos that we'll gladly share with you guys, and make sure they're all out there. So so it's really good. Yeah. Walter says, great tools. Thanks for the great suggestions.
You're very welcome, Walter. Thank you for jumping on with us, and be sure to share and like and all of that, because the algorithm likes it when you like our stuff. So it's always appreciated, especially if you're watching it on the replay on YouTube. We work really hard on these shows. I'm working on a holiday here, 4th of July, not with my family. I'm here with you guys. So, I really appreciate it if you guys share and like what we have and add some comments. It always makes it work a lot better. Somebody asked a good question here. Our thoughts on Vidnami. Vidnami's been bought out, I believe, by GoDaddy, and by August, some date in August, they're going to close down the way that it operates now. Not sure what's going to happen, because I have the lifetime with Vidnami, and I'm going to be pretty upset with my good friends at GoDaddy if it doesn't work at all. But there's it's a very, very powerful tool for building videos, especially if you spend a little bit of time to adjust it and make things interesting and relevant, and you add your own audio files to it and narration. You can really make some decent videos with that. My part that I don't like about it is if you don't add audio to it, you don't spend any time with making sure the images make sense. You basically hit the auto button and walk away. To me, that's just spammy video content. I hate that stuff when I find that on YouTube. And to me, if I'm YouTube and I'm spending my money storing videos that are just trash, made by just a bunch of background sound and an automated voice, I think that eventually that stuff's not going to stay on YouTube. I think that'll be gone. So I think if you can find a way to make it as natural and as quality as you can, it can save you a whole lot of time. Tools like Venami or other tools, but you have to get behind the wheel and you have to actually, have some quality, effort into things. A lot of these tools will do so much. Like even our Siphon AI is going to help you to get to the content that you can use very quickly. But of course, you have to look it over and you have to clarify and clean it up and do things like that. Otherwise, it's garbage in, garbage out. If you put garbage into a website, you're going to get garbage results out of it. You put garbage into a Vidnami tool, you're going to get garbage coming out the other side. So it's just these tools are made to kind of make things faster for you and make things easier, but they don't substitute the efforts of having decent effort and working hard. I don't know. What are your feelings on that, Stephen?
I agree with you on that, Daryl. One thing I learned about, and I've used Vidami for many years. I didn't buy it on the lifetime when it came out. I ended up leaving it for a long time, and I paid monthly, and they've cancelled my subscription now. It'd be interesting to see if it, maybe next month or when it finally so-called is meant to finish, whether we'll still have access to it without having to pay anymore. I don't know. But the key to it is, I think if you create 1,000 videos and upload them very quickly to YouTube, and people see them and they only watch 30 seconds and click away, right? Google / YouTube will start going, well, hello, that video, each time someone views it, watches it for under 30 seconds, it must be a load of rubbish, delete it. But unlike this other video, people have watched a 45-minute long video for 30 minutes, right? There must be some value in it, and they skipped a few bits, but there must be some value in that video. We'll leave it up. And I think gradually that's what's going to happen. All the rubbish is going to be filtered out automatically, and the good stuff's going to be kept. And I've already seen it happen. I've known people who have created some of these videos where you've got I forget what they're called, but where the bloke's still on there talking about bathroom remodeling or something, and it's pre-recorded. And when people use a lot of those videos and they add their own content either side, the algorithms pick up on that, and they reckon they're getting very clever now to go, well, that's the same as that one, but with a different bit at the start. Let's get rid of that one. Channels get shut down. So, you've got to make sure the content is relative to what you're doing and it's good content. And if you do that, it's got to offer value. That's the thing. Why do we do these Sunday lives? To help you guys to offer value. And I think that's what it's got to be with all of this.
I 100% agree with that part. How about you, Simon?
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, it's the same as Mass Pages or any other automated tools, content writers, Siphon. It's anything that, just because you can produce thousands of pages of content, thousands of videos, or whatever it is, it doesn't mean that you should do, or Google's going to necessarily see that as Steve says, as valuable. So you have to add value. It has to be authentic. So, yeah, completely agree. I wouldn't just press auto and spit out 1,000 videos. It's not likely to work. Even if you get a bit of an initial lift, it's not a long-term strategy. So I think you have to be careful what you're doing there.
Yeah. I've had some people come to me and say, well, but I've got 30,000 videos out there with this tool, and I get 1 to 5 views per month on them, and it adds up to so many.
That's why.
And I'm just like, well, what if you actually took the time and made a real video and spent some time with it and really shared it and all of that and got it out there? Could you achieve the same thing with one video that had a lot of shares and likes and all of that good stuff? So it's one of those things where you have to kind of look at it and say, we try a lot of things, but will it work? And I've done some great videos with Vidami, did some really good stuff because we did the voiceover. We really curated all of the pictures. We put our own pictures in. So there's it's like I said before, garbage in, garbage out. You put no effort in, you're going to have something that looks like it was created by a robot. So
yeah.
So we got George. George is joining us. Hey, Jorge, how are you?
Oh, great, guys. How are you?
Good to see you, my friend.
Happy
Good
4th.
to see you.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on VidArmy and what's going on with it? Because, of course, as we all know, Google, GoDaddy have probably bought it for the intellectual property, probably. And there are rumours going around that they're only going to offer it to anyone who's a member of GoDaddy. Now, I don't know if that's fully true, but what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they basically are going to, merge Vietnamese, the software as is with their, dashboard. I don't know. But as a product, of course, it's going to be like, dead for us.
I was looking in a forum today on Facebook, one of the groups about VidArmy. There's a lot of angry people out there. Even people saying about the vendors that they wouldn't buy from them again. When you invest, and like Daryl said, he paid lifetime on it. If he ends up not having access to that, that's why the tools that we're doing and Mike Martin's doing, we support them. We want to make sure. I've got lifetime guys that are bought into Leadgenmagic, and I always say to them that I'm adding more and more value, and things don't always go how we want to because software changes and what have you, but we will get there eventually. And so I will always look after my lifetime guys. I'm in it for a long haul, and even if I chose to sell up my business, I'll sell it to someone have it written into the contract that they look after my lifetime guys and existing customers. That's really important.
Yes.
I'm in it for years to come. Yeah, I'm not running away from my business because I want to look after people. Reputation. You don't want a bad reputation as a software vendor. Well, and there's a lot of people on JVs who have got a bad reputation, and that's what's going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen with this personally.
Yes. I really don't understand why they don't negotiate, the lifetime holders. Because that is, as you tell, that is something that is with your name, so you can maybe sell the business, but you are going to be really hard to make a new business, a new tool, whatever.
I know in the chat on here, Don said Blaster Academy is good. I know that the guy that I bought their software. It is very good, Don, but it doesn't quite do what VidArmy could. I don't know. I know that I've had conversations with various people, but I mean, what else is out there that can rival VidArmy?
Yeah, I found something from the Jive guys, Marcos. They are really serious people. It's a serious person, good products, and they just launched just the video part, the video creation. They have a product that basically do, a ton of stuff with video, and then the system upload all those videos to YouTube. They decide, because of the Vietnamese situation, to sell lifetime just for the video creation.
Wow.
Okay. So it's an amazing opportunity. I got the big package. They are offering 3 levels. I got the bigger one. And I think, guys, it's an amazing deal, really.
Wow. Back a while ago, I tried to show how to do mass videos for using Vidu, and that was a very expensive product that if you didn't get it on AppSumo, it's incredibly expensive per month to keep going. So you're talking there's a lifetime deal with this, Yive?
Yeah, the one that I got is 30,000 videos per month.
Oh, wow.
And you can use, I'm working my mind because I'm pretty sure we can use your form and the database and all the stuff with that. So I think it's, the perfect tool for us.
Yeah, so the CSV Wizard, I think, could really help to get the data files just the way Yive needs it. That's tremendous. Now, do you have a link or something you could throw at us to get it?
Yes.
And do you have an affiliate link? I don't mind you having an affiliate link if you want.
Okay, I'm going to send it. You have it on your messenger, and also I send it here in private chat in there.
Okay.
And for those that are in my group, I had from Georgia a message earlier today, and he mentioned it briefly to me. I didn't get a chance to read it through. He just briefly said to me, "Any chance I can recommend a replacement product?" And I just went, "Stick it in my group. I've got lots to do." And I was out with the family today, so I didn't have time to reply to you. And now I see what it is. That's gonna be awesome. Really, really good product to share. So anyone in my group is there, and we'll make sure it's shared in the other groups as well, for you guys to go and have a look. And we're always happy to support. George. Always happy to support you, and we're glad that you've jumped on board with it and recommended it, because I know in their group there's lots of people who are going, "Is there an alternative? I'm unhappy about this." So it's good that there's another product.
And I'm sure Daryl will come with something with the forms and the stuff. I'm pretty sure the next is a very good video from Daryl.
Yeah, so I would definitely consider doing a webinar to kind of show this off. His tool, I'll test it out and try it, and give it a shot, because 30,000 videos would be nice, especially if they're done properly and good. Some of the videos that have automated voices, I'm just not crazy about that. But if you what was I gonna say? That's weird. They gave me a Facebook link. That's I want to play around with this, because this could be really cool. So So Albert,
and something else I always say, guys, George is sharing an affiliate link. We want to be 100% transparent with you. You can go direct to Yive sites if you want, but George has been good enough to come on and recommend this, and I like to support people. So if you're happy to, and you're interested, you are thinking of buying it, doesn't cost you a penny to go to his link and pay for it. All right, so and it all supports the community. So if you're happy to, go to click.ceo/Yive.
Yep. That's awesome. Anything else you want to share with us, Jorge? Did there's anything you want to mention?
No, well, just watching the SCV, the new tool for I think that is going to be huge. My mind is working around.
Let me see. Seeing as how you are here this far into today's broadcast, I'm gonna just drop a little information to the folks that are watching this far, and we're not going to snip this up for somebody. You have to have watched it all the way to find this out. But I've been working on Mass Website Builder, and there's been some updates that have come this past week that are phenomenal, and I can't go into the details on it. We have a big meeting on Tuesday to go over some of the big changes, but there's going to be some good things. So if you have Mass Website Builder Lifetime, you'll get access to it, I believe, and we'll have to see what everybody thinks of some of the new changes that are coming out, because I don't even think Steven knows all the things that we've done with it. But I invested some money into it and been working on some ideas and stuff to make it a little bit better. That, and also Siphon AI has some really cool things that are in the mix, and that's going to be a really incredible tool. I don't even have the pricing on it right now, because we have to take a look at how much it's going to cost to deliver at scale. But we promise to make it as affordable as we possibly can, and it's going to be doing some very revolutionary things that no tool on the market does. So so it'll be very different. It's not going to be a GTP3 replacement. There's an awful lot of people in that space, and if I had to guess, the reason why GoDaddy got Vietnamese is because of GTP3, because the ability to kind of create things in bulk. If they're not, getting into the GTP3 stuff, the GoDaddy, I would be very surprised if they're not going to release a tool that works between those two things, because there are people that have been doing conversion AI and Vidnami together and making TikTok videos and making all kinds of like videos on the fly and automatically. So I think that's why there's been some attention, and Vidnami's cashing into it. And yeah. Oh, you got the same background. You're at the same house.
Oh, you're in my house.
I live next door to George. You see, the mirror image almost. You see.
Yeah. So stay tuned this week, guys, to the channel and to the Facebook group. I'm going to give you guys some previews of possibly Mass Website Builder and possibly Siphon AI before it gets launched. So you'll get a chance to see it. Right now it's in beta. You can play around with a few generations ago that's in your Mass Page tools, but it does work. The functionalities there, but we're going to streamline the UI and we're adding some new features to it, and it will be very interesting what it can do.
Question for you, Daryl, and I've been asked this a few times with MWB. The guys that originally bought into Lifetime, I assume we're going to get all the upgrades and be looked after alongside what they originally bought in on.
One single platform. So the people that bought in early that have that will have that same platform. We're not going to hold back a version of the platform because it's too hard to maintain an old platform and a new one. So the new platform is very similar, but there's some very interesting things that have been done that are really cool. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry
Really
to
good.
be elusive.
No. It's just I had to ask that question, because obviously with Vidami recently, and as you know, you had Lifetime on it, and you don't know whether you're going to have access to that anymore, and you and I are very passionate in the same way, Daryl. That when someone buys on Lifetime on something, we want to look after them. And I know quite a few lifers who bought in on MWB from the start, so I wanted to clarify that on their behalf.
Yeah, I think if you're a Lifetime member, you're going to be very, very happy with what we've done for it. So I think you'd be very, very happy.
Awesome.
Nice.
Right.
I bought that because of Daryl. When I saw that Daryl was involved, I found some guy that sold me the Lifetime immediately.
Awesome. Yeah. And there's a lot of big things going on because the CSV Wizard I've been excited about. I don't know how many other people will be excited about using it, but it's saving me a lot of time, and we're doing some testing on the bulk conversions, and we'll have that out onto the platform. And then once we have that, we'll probably launch it to the general public. But it's the summer of launches for me. I have so many softwares we're working on, and have a great development team, and we're moving fast forward. So to all those that have supported our product and done the Lifetime with us or gone on with the Enterprise Monthly, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to be building these products for you all. And so I really appreciate what you guys have done to help fund what we're doing here.
No, I agree with that statement. The people who came on at the very start on Lifetime for me, when it came to Leadgenmagic, I kept funds back in the bank account to keep supporting that product, and we're building on it all the time. We're adding more and more to it, and over the coming months we'll be improving that as well for you. So there's lots of things in the pipeline, and myself and Daryl, where you bought our products, we will always look after you. We'll make sure of that.
Yep, definitely. All right, I think it's an hour and 47 minutes in. I think it's good time to call it a night. But happy 4th of July to all our Americans.
Happy 4th of July, everyone who's not in England, who's in the USA.
Yeah. So thank you guys very much. Looking forward to a busy week. Make sure you keep tabs on the channel, because we'll have some updates for you, and maybe a live for you as well. So look forward to maybe seeing you later in the week. All right. Well, Simon, Stephen, Jorge, thank you guys so much for being part of this Sunday Live, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Bye, guys.
See you next week. Yeah, thanks everyone. Take
Bye-bye.
care, guys.
Take care.